Blake here. Just wanted to interrupt really quick to invite you to Photo Camp. The 2025 Photo Camp is March 13th through 15th in Folly Beach, South Carolina. If you're a photographer looking to level up, find inspiration, or just build community with other creatives, this is the camp for you. So here's what we can expect. We're going to do 10 styled shoots throughout the weekend so that you can add them to your portfolios. We're also going to stay in a luxury camp house by the beach, and we have 5 educational speakers featuring sessions from Georgia and Micah McMaster, Preston Luke, Shelby Cuenca, Danielle Hickman, and me, Alex Blake. We're also going to take care of all of your meals so that you can focus on learning and creating and connecting, but spots are super limited. We already have some people signed up, and I would love for you to join us. In fact, from now until January 1st, if you mention in the application that you listen to the podcast, I'm going to give you $100 off an all-inclusive pass. So what are you waiting for? Head to photocampinfo.com to apply now, and let's make 2025 your most creative year yet. See you there. Well, hey guys, welcome back to Let's Create with Alex Blake. I'm your host, Alex Blake, and today we have one of my friends, a guest on the pod, Annie.
Hi guys, what's up?
Annie's like, hello.
Like, hi.
I love it. Annie, how do you say your last name?
Salter. So
Okay,
like
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And we met each other in Utah, so like the Salt Lakes.
Oh my gosh,
that was kind of fun.
Yeah, my Instagram caption was like Salt Flats, and then it was like Salter. I don't know.
Like,
I thought it was funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Annie and I met when I was speaking at a content weekend in Utah that my friend Megan hosted, and she was attending, and we just like hit it off. And I told her she had hair like Sabrina Carpenter, and we've been friends ever since.
Yes. I love it.
I love it. But something cool about Annie is she's actually like a college student as well as photography and a plethora of other things. And I've had a couple of you guys ask me to have a college student on to like share about, you know, how they actually function in life as a photographer and college student. So Annie, I feel like you're much more than just a college student and a photographer. Like you do so much more than that too, and like have different niches within your photography and stuff like that. So I'm excited to get to hear from you and see like what we can all learn from you in your life. And yeah, I'm pumped. So we're going to play like a little photography themed game at the end. It's going to be fun, a little this or that, if you will. But before that, let's do a little interview. Share about your life, Annie. Share about where you go to school, what you're majoring in. Tell us really whatever you want.
Okay, awesome. So obviously I'm Amy Salter, and I go to the University of Cincinnati, and I am now a third year there. So I have 5 years in total in my program. It is a communication design major is what I'm majoring in. It's within their art school, so it kind of is a graphic designy type thing. I do a lot of like interaction design, web design, branding stuff. So it kind of ties in really well with my photography, which is really awesome. And I've been doing photo stuff now for about, oh my gosh, like 7 years. I don't know. It's been a long time. In high school is where I got my start doing all that. I was on yearbook staff in high school. So that was like my big break into photography, which was such a blessing. I was like on the, I don't know, what's the like management team. So I was the sports editor and the photography manager when I was on staff there, which seems crazy talking about high school because it was like literally like 4 years ago. I've been feeling so old suddenly, but
don't even.
No, it's just like
you're literally calling me old by saying that you feel old.
No. But that's where I got my start, and I did a lot of like senior portraits and sports photography at my high school, and that is still what I'm doing now. So at my university, I am an athletics intern, so I do photos for the athletics department just kind of as I'm able to, and I work alongside my higher-ups, and I work with photo and video people, which is super fun.
That is cool.
And then, in school, I have like an internship with my university's marketing department, and then I also have a part-time job at the photography lab, which is really cool.
I told you guys that she has a plethora of things.
Happening. And then I think that's like kind of a lot of the stuff that I do mainly. But as for like my niche for photography, I am kind of similar to you, doing a lot of senior portraits, which I absolutely love. And I'm just now dabbling into like the wedding hemisphere. We'll see what happens with that. But sports and seniors are like my first love. So hopefully I hope to keep doing that kind of forever. But again, sports are like, it's very interesting to get into because it's a whole different realm, and that
Yeah,
makes it really exciting to like kind of be on both ends of the spectrum with photography right now. And I just really love it. So hopefully that
totally.
gave like a good brief. I feel like there's so much more I could have said there, but
Which
that's
is
kind of like,
wild. Like you said a lot. Like you do a lot. So the fact
oh
that
my
you could
gosh.
share more is insane.
Yeah, I'm all over the place, but I really love it. Like I'm just so passionate about like what I do. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
that kind of reads. I don't know.
I see it. I
Yeah.
think that sports photography is so interesting. So I don't
Yes.
know if everybody knows this, but my brother, this is like my claim to fame, Annie,
Oh
okay?
my
But
gosh.
my
Yeah.
brother is in the NFL and
Wait, I think I knew that.
oh, well,
I think we talked about it or
I
something.
probably share it a lot because it
Yes,
really is
yes.
like it's obviously such a cool thing.
That's
But
so
I
cool.
get to go to his games and stuff, and like even in college, it was so interesting to me to like see the media team in
Yes.
those environments, and like I just like they're like he plays for the Bucks, and like
Mhm.
whoever their marketing person is, like I don't know, but like I love their coloring, I love their
Yes,
photography.
yes.
Like I just like watch the photographers at the games. Like of course I watch
Yeah.
my brother too, but like photographers like
Yes.
right after.
I, like, can't go to sports games anymore because I get so much FOMO looking at the
That's
people on
so
the field.
funny.
So now even, like, when I'm at school and people are like, "Wanna go to the game?" And I'm like, I'm just so spoiled. Like, if I'm not, like, on the court or, like, I just, like, literally can't do it. I'm like, I just wanna be down there so bad.
See, I
Like,
feel like that's where it's different for me because, like, I think like the environment looks cool to me and like I would
yes.
love to do it, but I feel totally incompetent to that
Oh
because
my
I'm
gosh.
incompetent when it comes to understanding football.
Okay, yeah.
So,
No, I totally get that. It's like,
like,
I'm
I
still
try
learning.
really hard. But I
Yeah,
feel like
no.
you have to like know like what's probably going to happen to be able to be there to get the shot. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
definitely, yeah.
And I can't. Like, I wouldn't know what was going on.
I know, and
So,
there's so much that goes into it behind the scenes that I could, like, dabble and talk about with you
yeah.
because it's really fascinating, like, we have these meetings and we, like, brief where you're gonna be and at what times, and, like, after any point is scored or something big happens, like, you have your SD card, people come and run and get it from you, or you run it
Yes.
to someone so they're ingesting the photos that you take in the middle of the game and
Yeah.
editing and posting in-game, and
That's so crazy.
it's, like, so high speed, and that's, like, so much different than, like, me taking my senior photos, and, like, I just, go home, and I just, like, go through them, and then I edit
Yeah.
them. Like, they are, like, working so fast. It is so impressive, and I'm just, like
Yeah.
I feel like
My
I'm
husband and I talk about that all the time because, like, like even just this last week, again, back to my brother,
back to your
but
brother,
back
yeah.
to my brother. No, but he got a touchdown and it was so
Mhm.
cool because literally like minutes after they
Yeah.
posted.
Oh my
And
gosh,
you're
yeah.
just like scrolling and like
Like, how
waiting
do you
for
do
it to
that?
like refresh, refresh, refresh. But like,
Yeah.
how? And it's like a
No.
beautiful edited photo. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
insane.
Literally insane.
But actually I wanted to ask you a question on that. Okay, this is like not even like any of my notes that I sent you or
That's totally
anything.
fine.
But one of the things I'm totally about to out you right now with this.
Oh,
But in Utah, you shot one of the sessions on accident, like fully half in JPEG.
yes, yes.
But it's
And it's
because
like
you have to switch it back and forth for sports, right?
yes, we're not allowed to shoot in RAW. I mean, I think
That's
I have
interesting.
before, and they were just like it was like one of my first games, and we got back to the office, and like I have like office hours, so I'll go in there for 2 hours once a week and just like do work. It's just something you have to do as part of the internship.
Sure.
And I was like, "Yeah, it's taking a while to ingest." And then I literally sat there for the whole 2 hours trying to get these photos to ingest, and she was like, "Do not shoot raw again at a sports game." And I was like, "I'm so sorry."
Sorry.
So yeah, I have to put it on JPEG for all these sports stuff, and
That
it's
is crazy.
happened before where I've, like, started a shoot with a senior. It's been, like I'm, like, 5 minutes in, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, these are JPEGs. That's
Yeah,
crazy." And then that wasn't a big deal, but, like, in Utah, I was also so happy I wasn't getting paid.
totally. Yeah.
The photos ended up being fine, so I was like, "It's
No, they
okay."
looked good,
Oh
but
my
it's
gosh, thank
harder
you.
obviously to like edit JPEG and stuff. So, but
Yes.
do they just want JPEG for like the fastness of it?
I think the speed and also just the sheer number of photos they have because
Sure.
they have like I mean, depending on the sport and the game, there's like gotta be like anywhere from 2 to like 10 photographers. Like
Yeah,
so, if they're having all these different people and they ingest everything, you really can't like be having those big of files.
that
So
is crazy.
it's yeah, literally insane stuff, but it's really cool just to like. I just didn't even think about the fact that they weren't shooting in RAW. I was like, "Oh, I thought we just all did that."
Yeah,
That's what all
no.
photographers did.
Well, me too, until you said that. It was, like, the
Yeah,
first time I realized, like, "Oh, that makes sense." Like,
yeah,
"Huh,
yeah.
yeah," because I don't even touch that on my camera. Like, there's no way that I'm gonna
I
accidentally
know.
unless I just got a new, like, Fujifilm camera, and it's, like, the one
Mm.
that, like, you can have, like, the film simulation on, you know?
Yes,
And so,
yes.
like, that one I'll shoot JPEG, but, like,
Yes,
for,
definitely.
like, my usual Sony, like, I don't change that. Like, no, I'm shooting in RAW at
Yes.
all times, you know? So,
No,
it was
literally.
interesting.
It
But
was a tragedy, but it happened, and it's kinda funny to laugh about now, and
yeah.
I'm sure I won't do it again now because it
Exactly, you
was
know?
kinda humbling.
Or maybe you will. Honestly, it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
everything's
honestly
fine.
fine.
It's just not that serious.
Yeah,
Okay, so obviously that was a challenge that you had, but any other
yes.
favorite moments or challenges from, like, shooting in, like, your university's kind of athletic department area?
Yeah, so I'd say, um, actually a challenge, and that I also just, like, find interesting that I did was a lot of, like, the studio, like, media day work. I've learned a lot about, like, studio light because of having to do that, and I
That's
really
cool.
didn't know a lot about, like, what is even the word for it? Those, like, flashes that go off when you, like, click your what's
Yeah,
the is it I have some, I don't know why I don't know what the word is, I
off-camera
forget.
flash.
No, but it's like the yeah, but it's like those big ones that are, like, not, like they're not even on the camera, like, it doesn't matter. They're, irrelevant to the conversation, but I kinda just got to, like, learn how to use a lot of these different technologies I hadn't had the opportunity to before because of, like, obviously my lack of money, so I'm like, I couldn't afford any of this stuff otherwise. Um,
As a college
having the
student.
opportunity What's up?
I just said as a college student, you
Oh,
know?
yes. No,
Yeah.
literally. But that was always really cool, and also was challenging to, like, figure out, like, just how to work any of that stuff. I remember I shot, like, for, I don't know, 5 minutes, and there was, like, a line in the middle of some of these like, the white, like, line from the flash
Yeah.
going off, and my shutter being too slow or too fast or whatever it was, and I was like, "What did I do wrong?" And they were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's okay, like, it happens." So I had to, like, reshoot one of these girls', like, jersey photos or something, and I was like, "I'm sorry." So that's really interesting because they all kind of know, like, they all knew what they were doing because they are pretty much only sports photographers, a lot of those people are, which is so cool, and they just are, like, so talented and know so much about it, and I'm, like, kind of, like, an odd man out at times. I'm like, "I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm doing, but we're gonna learn." But
That's
I
cool though.
yeah.
It's a cool environment to be in where it's like you are almost like in a safe place where it's like it's fine to fail
Yes,
right
yes.
now. Like I can redo it. It's part
Mhm.
of school, you know what I mean?
Yes,
And
yeah.
like everything is fine. Like I'm supposed to be learning in an internship, you know?
Yes, definitely, and it's really, really I mean, the one thing I love about, the internship is just, like, working with so many creative individuals, and it really is such a safe space, and, like, even with because a lot of them do dabble in doing, like, portraits and graduation photos, it's just, like, we're all asking each other questions all the time and getting just, like, such genuine feedback, and, like, they'll teach you how to, like, shoot video, and they're like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like, this is how I edit." Like, they're just so amazing, and I'm just,
That's
like, so
cool.
grateful to have that community at school because at in high school, my yearbook staff, like, that was my little group of, like, creatives, and it was just, like, so much fun, and being able to have that again is just, like,
Yeah.
honestly ideal, and I just love it.
Looking back on high school, I totally wish that I would have like thought about the yearbook staff. Like I don't know
Yes.
why that was just never something on my radar or like I think we even had a photography class and I don't know why that was never like anything that I did, but like
Yeah.
that would have been so cool. So if you're
Yes.
in high school randomly listening to this, go find a yearbook place.
Go go find a yearbook place. No, it's literally, like it was such a great time, and even just learning how to do all that stuff on the computer, making the actual
Yeah,
yearbook itself is why I chose my career path as well,
that's
doing
cool.
graphic design stuff. So, it kind of just, like, shaped my life in so many ways, which
Yeah.
I'm so happy about.
That's really cool. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that you manage a lot
Yes.
in your life. How do you feel like you manage it? Because you do have like so
Yeah.
many different like avenues to your life right now. Like
Mhm.
how do you do it all?
That's a really good question. So I know that I feel like you've talked about being really organized before, right? Like, I feel like you're an organized person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I'm just, like, not, but I am in the things that obviously are important, like, I'm, turning all my assignments on time and doing all my photography stuff, like, everything's needs where it needs to be, and I get everything accomplished, and I'd say a lot of that is just, like, managing my time to make sure I'm, like, prioritizing, first of all, being in college, having
Yeah.
fun, but any downtime I have, I'm just making sure that have everything completed, like, I'm usually, like, in class and we're, like, have some downtime, like, I'm in studio classes, so they're like 3-hour long classes, and you are there just working on your projects that you have for the semester.
Cool.
What yeah, really cool. It is cool until you're there for 9 hours every day, but that's okay. That's okay.
Gives you time
Um,
to get stuff done.
Literally, so I'll be editing photos like in between our lectures. They're like, "Oh, we have some time, like work on your project." and I'm like, I'm just gonna do some editing here, and just like finding those times to like prioritize my work is
Yeah.
just like really really great. But as I mentioned, I'm not as organized. So I think something that I do a lot is like having like my notes page. I'm like screenshotting like what I have to do each day, or I'm like
Yeah.
making. I wonder if I even have one on my phone right now. Actually, I doubt it. But it's always like today, like film 2 Instagram reels, and it's like
Yeah.
finish homework. It's
That
like
is organization, like
that's as
having a to-do
organized.
list.
Yes, as I and it sounds kind of dumb, like acting like it's a new invention, but I find that to be so helpful with my busy schedule because I
Yeah.
am like on my phone quite often. Even in class, I'm just like picking it up and like we're doing whatever. And being able to like see everything I need to get done.
Yeah.
Even like in a week, I'll just be like, this week I need to, send out a session. I need to go to the basketball game on Thursday. Like it's just that's the best way to manage it, honestly.
Yeah.
And being around a lot of people who do the same stuff as me, I'm never really forgetting any of those tasks. Like, I'm never gonna not have a homework assignment completed, like, because I'm around the people who are in the same classes as me all day long.
That's true, yeah.
But also, I think something to note is that, like, I really enjoy the things that I'm doing, so it doesn't feel as much of a task or burden doing them. Like, I just like the work that I do.
That's
So
cool.
that's how
It
I just
matters.
yeah, and I really just like enjoy doing it. It doesn't feel like I'm, like, overwhelmed by any of the stuff because, like, if I wasn't doing that, like, I don't know what else I'd be doing. Like,
Yeah.
I literally made a podcast about photography because I was, like, bored, and I
I
just
love
gave
it.
myself a new task, but it's, like, not really it's kind of fun for me, though, so
Yeah,
I like
but
that.
I also think that's, like, the best kind of project, when it's, like, just
Yes,
for
yes.
fun for you, and, like,
Yeah.
Annie, basically, she has her own podcast. What's your podcast called?
It's called Get Your Shot Together.
Cute, love it.
Yes.
Get your shot together with Annie Salter.
Mm,
But yeah, it was fun too, like, watching you make it because she did, like,
yeah.
a cute little series on Instagram and TikTok probably too, right?
I don't do the TikToks. I need
Oh,
to do that, though. I need to,
that
I
is
know.
shocking. I
I
do TikTok
know.
and you don't do TikTok?
I have my personal TikTok, but I'm,
Okay,
like, trying to figure out how to, like, do it for photography. I need to
yeah.
do that.
Well, it's
That's
that actually makes sense because it's, like, something just for fun for you, so you kinda wanna protect it almost.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way no, I think if I
Subconsciously.
yeah, honestly, probably.
That's funny. Okay, well, basically on Instagram, she did
Mhm.
like a whole reel series of like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm starting a podcast. Come along with me. And it was so cute
Yes.
to watch because it was something like so authentic to you and so like real with where you are right now. But it was like
Yes.
something fun for you, And it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be that serious. It's just like fun.
Yeah, I think, like, right now, the branding for, like, who I am as a person, like, on the internet is just trying to be like, "I don't know what's happening, but I'm just kinda doing it, so you guys
So here
can,
we go.
yeah, join me while I do it." But again, when it comes to, like, my photography, like, my business, I'd
Yeah.
say, very professional, making sure I'm, like, getting all my stuff done and
Yeah.
being very, you know, businessy. But when it
Yeah.
comes to, like, my social media posts, like, I like to just, like, have fun and let everyone know that, like, I'm a real college student person who just,
Yeah.
like, kinda likes to joke around and, like, have fun, and, like, we're all figuring out at the same time. Like, it's just, like photography is, like, the most, like, non-linear business in my opinion. Like, it is just, like, you don't know what your next year is gonna look like, and it's, like, really interesting, especially when you're also in school. I'm just like, "What is going on?"
Yeah. Well, and I think especially like being college age is like figuring out so much of like who you are. And
Yes,
part
definitely.
of photography, because it's like the business side and the entrepreneur
Mhm.
side, yeah, it's also the side of like art and creativity. And so
Yeah.
much of art comes from like who you are. So as
Yeah,
you're
oh my gosh,
figuring
yes.
out who you are, like your art is developing with that, your photography is
Yes.
developing with that. And that's why you can't predict it because you're like, I'm still learning. Like, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just living life.
Exactly, yeah, but that series was so fun, and I'm, like, hoping to do more stuff like that in the future, but
Yeah.
we shall see, I don't know.
You're like, if I have time.
No, well, there is one thing that I'm really excited about, this summer I don't this is kind of getting off topic, is that
No, it's
okay?
fine. Yeah.
Okay, so we
Tell us
have
everything.
yeah, in my art program that I'm part of, it's co-oping we co-op, so every other semester you are, like, working a job. So you're not in any classes, you're just,
Okay.
like, going into the work field. It's helped to, like, prepare you to, leave and go in the workforce, especially as someone who's, like, an art major. I think it's really, really great
Yeah,
for
that's
all the
cool.
students. But this summer, I might be opting into doing an EEP, and it's just, like, a term, I don't even know what it means. But you basically, like, make your own projects and jobs just to, like, help build your portfolio.
Cool.
So I think this summer, I might be working for myself and doing, like, a rebrand and doing photography and
Fun.
just like working with like a bunch of even like small businesses and doing their branding as well. So I'm just really excited to have this summer potentially to just like be like full time, like see what it could be
Yeah.
like if I was a full time photographer, and just like really focus on growing because like I personally doing this, being in school, I'm really proud of the growth I was able to like do this year. So I
Yeah.
can't imagine like how much I could do in the summer, and that's why I'm like so pumped for like the opportunity to just like,
Yeah.
do my thing without having to do school for a little bit.
I saw so much growth the first year I went full time. So
Oh my
I
gosh,
know
same.
even just like one summer for you is gonna
Yeah.
like blow it out of the water. Like so much more than you can imagine. I feel like it's gonna
Yes.
be
Oh my
so
gosh.
exciting to see. Even just from like my perspective, I'm like excited to watch it.
Yes,
It's
I'm
gonna be cool.
excited. I don't know,
Um,
it's just be cool.
I know it is cool. I feel like okay, so obviously it would be really cool to have like the full time, energy towards it. Right now you
Yeah.
can't do that. But what does a typical like week look like for you then?
Okay, yes, we can dive into that. So, well, this past semester, like I mentioned, I was co-oping. So I actually was a full-time marketing student. So that's like I was a
That's
marketing
cool.
employee of the school. So I'm gonna like ignore that semester and
Yeah.
talk about like a typical like college semester. So during the week I have classes typically 9 to 5. I'm in this one building. It's just like the art school. And when I'm not in classes, I am working at the photo and print lab. So
Cool.
I'm just gonna break down like a normal morning. I would like go in at like 8:30, 9 a.m. and I open up the print shop. There I help just guide students to like the photo studios, how to use the sound studios, how to like print out large scale prints like for like their photography and their
Cool.
designs and stuff, which is really cool. So I go and do that, and then as soon as it hits like typically like 11 or sometimes it's earlier or later, I go to class. So in those studio classes, like I mentioned, they're typically like 2.5, 3 hours. It just depends. And there we have like a lecture, and then we get to just like work on projects typically. It's again, it gets like different each year of college, but it's finally more so just like they're like, here's your project for the semester. You're gonna work on this like either the full semester or half the semester, and you literally just go in and work and you
That's
collaborate with other
crazy.
designers. Yeah, it's so cool. And we actually had a photography class at one point, which was
Oh,
really cool.
cool.
Yeah, I was like, wait guys, I feel really I'm like really smart
Like
suddenly.
I'm really good at this.
Yeah, it was such a blast. But I typically just go to class and we have like a small break to eat at some point, but typically like we don't leave. Like I don't see the sun, which is fine.
That's
Um
rough. I don't know. I don't know if I can hang with that. I need
yeah,
at
it's
least a window.
no, some of them have windows.
Some.
But no, the one in the I think it was the summer. We had summer classes. That's like one thing to add on to. Like sometimes we have like summer semesters.
Okay.
So this summer I don't think I literally would get there at like 8 a.m. and I would see the sun for like I don't know, like 2 hours at the end of the day, and I was like, "This is really, really
That
sad."
would kill me.
It was killing me. But yeah, I'll go to classes until, like, 5 p.m., and typically, say I have, like, a photo game that night, which is not this past semester wasn't as often because a lot of the games would kinda bump into my work schedule, and that was a little less lenient, but when I'm
Okay.
in classes, my professors are super open and happy to me, like, working, so I'll let them know that I have, like, a game, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, go ahead and leave early, like, you're good."
Cool.
So I'll go to like the field, the court, whatever. We have to get there typically an hour or two early to do like warm up stuff and just set up for the whole like night. And as we're doing that, we'll put our bags down and do whatever. And I'll just get to like shooting. And then typically after a game, you have to go to the office and like sift through the photos and you have to label them and you have to like rate them. It's this whole thing. You have to like
It's a whole thing.
the naming thing is crazy. You have to do like backslash and then there's like a code. Say it's like WSOC for women's soccer, and then the
Oh,
number of the player, and then backslash, and it'll put the player's name in like the right order. So that way, if they're looking up a
stop.
play, yeah, and you have to also put like same with like it's like backslash PRE like backslash, and that's like pregame, so they can like go find these
Wow.
specific photos. Yeah.
Somebody needs to make like okay, so like I use Aftershoot, which
Yes.
is like an AI culling software, and then it like helps edit your photos.
Yeah.
But for anyone who doesn't know, but like they should make one for sports that's like
I
AI
know. I'm
where it
sure
like
they could.
chooses people. You know what I mean? Where it
Yeah.
like sections out like this one is like this person or whatever, and you just have to name
Yes.
the person, but then it like
Yeah.
sections it for you. Cause that sucks. Like that
Yes.
would be hard.
It gets a lot easier as you're going, but the worst part is when their number isn't being seen or it's like warm-up
Oh
photos and their
yeah.
number isn't on their jersey. You have to go to the roster and you have to find who they are
That is
because
so tedious.
it's very tedious. So, anyways, I would do that after a game and then typically I would just like go home and then, recently I've been like I like to like watch Survivor. I go home and like watch Survivor.
Stop, I've been binging lately.
I've been binging it's like I thought it was like a hyperfixation, but it's been like a year now
Okay.
that I have not stopped watching Survivor. Like every single week, I'm just watching a new season.
Right
Like
now
it's
I'm watching season 43.
okay. I don't. I think I'm watching 16 right now. I'm going back.
Ooh,
I
okay.
got kind of in a weird era of like I don't.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm gonna be done with, like, the new era, you know? So
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yes.
have to do, like, the old school stuff
Yes.
because
And
I'll
I'm
be done with it. So,
yeah.
like, I'll let you know.
Well, yeah. I just applied for the second time last week, so
Stop.
I really want to go, but I'm like maybe I'm like not like I probably would fail, but I think it'd be funny.
No, it would be amazing. I hope you
Oh my
do.
gosh. I hope I do one time too. I mean, again, it's really tough. People will apply for like 12 years to
Yeah,
like
I
not get
know.
on the
I
show.
wanna apply for Big Brother.
Okay, yeah, no, you would be really good at that.
I think so too.
Yeah. So I
But
don't the thing is
anyway.
I don't know if I'd be good. I think I could just like actually
Yeah,
fail,
wait, we
but
talked about this, that I
I
wanted to
think we
apply.
did.
Yeah, I just remember
Yes.
that. We talked about it in June. Anyway, okay, let's move on. We're over
Yes,
here.
moving
So
on.
you'll watch Survivor.
Yeah, and then I typically like to do a little like hobby as I'm doing that. So I've been like watercolor painting recently. And then
Cool.
sometimes depending on the night, I usually upload my podcast on every Wednesday.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll record like an episode or something. So
Yeah.
pretty chill. I have like my little poppy and I'll just like drink my little poppy or Olipop and just like have a relaxing night. But
Yeah.
just like a long day of like work, but it's all like really fun and like jam packed. And I'm just
Yeah.
like I like being busy.
I
So
like what you said though, where you like you have your time to just decompress at the end of the day. What time
yes.
do you usually get home? Like if you do a sports game or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Late.
Late, like, probably, like yeah, probably, like, 9 or 10.
And then after a sports game, would you still like watch Survivor and watercolor, or is it more like watch Survivor in bed, or like what does
Yeah,
that
I
normally
probably do
look
a little
like?
watch Driver in bed. Like,
Yeah.
I like to go to bed at a I'm not someone who, like, stays up at, like, a crazy
Yeah, me
late.
too.
I like to go to bed at, like, I don't know, I guess, like, 11 now these it's still kinda late, like, on the later end, but for college student, I think my friends will all
Yeah.
be like, "You're weird for that." But I love my sleep. I'll prioritize it, like, over doing a lot of things, I
Well, I
fear.
feel like it probably helps you to be able to live the life that you live while you're
Oh,
busy and stuff.
yes.
Because if you
Yes.
are staying up all night, like, you're gonna be tired. You just are, you know?
Yes.
But
Yes.
I like I said, I love that you're doing something like watercolor or whatever it is. Like, right now, I'm getting into embroidery.
Oh my gosh, I
I
love
feel like
that.
we are so similar, Annie, because
Yes, I love
I'm the
that.
same way where I'm like, I wanna push myself throughout my day, but in my evening, I wanna be able
Yeah,
to, like, relax, chill, drink some
totally agree.
tea, do my
Yeah.
embroidery, watch
Yeah.
Survivor, but, like, it helps me to be able to, like, go hard during the day and feel like
Yeah,
like I'm doing something, you know, when I'm able to
totally.
decompress in that way. But, okay, what do you feel like has been probably the hardest part about, like, juggling all these different roles in your life?
Yeah, that's a good question. The hardest part is probably maintaining that like I am in college and this is like really, really fun time to just like be alive.
Yeah.
And just making sure that I'm like recognizing that I will not get to probably, redo these years of my life ever. Like this is the one time I'm gonna be at college. So just like really making sure I'm taking in all the fun stuff on top of like doing work because like although this is the time to like, build your career for yourself, like take time to like discover like what you like and like your interests, it's also like just such a silly time to be alive, like, and I've made
Yeah.
so many amazing friends, and they're luckily a lot of them are in the same, like, field as me, doing, the art school and whatever, but just making sure, like, on the weekends, my friends and I are still getting together, and we're having little hangouts, and,
Yeah.
like, we're hitting the town, like and I mean, I don't know, just really
Yeah.
fun time,
Getting your
so
shot together, you know?
no, literally, yeah.
I
So,
love it.
it's just, like, making sure that I'm
Yeah.
prioritizing just, like, the fun stuff that comes with college too.
So how do you feel like you were saying that while you wanna, like, obviously prioritize the fun, you
Mhm.
also were saying, like, you're very professional with your business, you get everything done. What do you feel like are some tools or, like, helpful, I don't know, organizational things that you do that actually make sure you're getting things done in your business so that you can have fun?
Yes, okay, that's a good question. I'm, like, trying to, like, think of an answer right now.
Well, like, do
I'd
you
say
use, like, a CRM or anything like that?
no, like, organization-wise, well,
Stop.
with,
You're
like
lying. I
I
don't know
don't
how you do it.
with, like, being also doing a lot of work online on my computer all the time in school, I think I'm constantly faced with my desktop, which is, like, covered with all the things I need to, like, get done.
Mhm.
And I think, like, all of my stuff, like, being dated and being on hard drives and, like, just, like, having everything in its place and where it needs to be at any given moment makes my life just, like, so much easier, and I know where to find everything, and I know the tasks I have to get done. I'm just, like I don't know if that's made any sense. I'm honestly, I think just, like Yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying. I lost my train of thought entirely, but
You're like, "I'm gone."
I I honestly just think everything is, like, up in my brain, and the things that I do to, like, stay organized just kind of revolve around, like, I am so busy, so the time that I had to dedicate to stuff is
You're
really
locked
important.
in.
I need
Yeah.
to lock in. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
never,
yeah.
like, not really working on anything. Because even when I am, say I'm watching Survivor and I have some like, a session to edit, I'm gonna edit it while I'm doing that, but that doesn't feel like it's, like, mentally draining to me. I
Yeah.
really enjoy doing that, so
Yeah.
I guess
And
it's
this
just
is like I think it's cool to have this conversation with you too because like I understand why so many people are asking to hear a conversation from someone
Yes.
like you because
Yeah.
every life season is different. Like for me
Yes.
in my life season, like when I'm watching Survivor, I'm spending time with my husband and so it's like I
Yeah.
don't like I'm going to separate that and like we're building a life for one day when we have a family. So like I'm
Yes.
not going to edit during Survivor.
Mhm.
But I also remember the days that I did, you know,
Yeah,
like I
totally.
remember the days where I would edit all the time because I had
Yeah.
a really busy day and it was
Mhm.
like, it is what it is, you know, like this is part of
Yeah.
like my schedule and I have to. And it also wasn't like draining for me at that time either. If I did it
Yeah.
now, it would be draining for me.
Yes, I totally get it.
So
I
like
think
every
being
life season is
full-time.
different.
Yes, and this season of life is just really fascinating because I it's just so much happening, but it's like, I think I have, like, the energy, and I'm really just passionate about, like, what my future's gonna look like, and what you do is, like, so cool, and I can totally see myself, like, doing this kinda stuff in the future,
Hmm.
and I think I recognize at this time while I'm, like, still getting a lot of support from my parents and I'm, like, have room to make mistakes, I just wanna take full advantage of
Yeah.
this, like, next, like, 2 years I have left to just, like, do all the stuff I wanted to do without any real, like, repercussions if I'm not good at it
Yeah.
or something. Um, so I think that's, like, the biggest motivator right now is, like, I only have so many days in a week, so many months in a year, and,
Yeah.
like, even, like, this past semester when I was working that full-time job, I didn't have any homework, so I would get home and I was like, "I can just do photo stuff, I can make these
Cool.
Instagram reels, I can, text some past clients and ask for review," just stuff like that, that I
Yeah.
was like, "While I have this opportunity, I might as well just, take advantage of it."
Yeah.
So
I think that's why I'm so excited to see you do like the whole like work for yourself semester
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever it is. Like having that time to be able to like build the business that you want to have and like maybe even like during that time that's where you invest in a CRM or something like
mhm,
that and really build up the organization side so that you can add things in one day like when school comes back and life comes back and stuff like that like you're really set.
yes,
That's a
yes,
really cool opportunity. Like
yeah.
it is cool that like even just in that little bit where you had like the time after school to be able to like focus in on it. Now you're going to have like so much more time. It's going to be really cool.
I know, yeah, it's just, like, streamlining everything and making like, I mean, things are I would say the way I've been doing everything is, like, really, really organized in its own sense, like, I know, like,
Yeah,
exactly where everything is and, like, how I, keep track of everything, but I wouldn't say it's how I want it to be when I, like, graduate, so I'm so excited for this
totally.
time to just, like, lock in and get everything the way I want it to be when I end up graduating in, like, 2
Yeah.
years.
No, it's like the perfect opportunity too. It really is
Yeah.
awesome. And right now it works for like your brain. Like your brain is the one that's looking at it, you know, like it's
Yes,
fine that
yes,
it's
totally.
working, but it's
Yeah,
cool that you're going to get to build on it too. That's awesome.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, what do you feel like you do when things get overwhelming? Because I feel like when you're juggling a lot, it's just inevitable, like, it's gonna happen. You're gonna feel overwhelmed at some point.
Yes, so I think one thing I just, like, take a step back, because I have a lot of responsibilities, but also a lot of the stuff that I do in terms of, like, making Instagram content, like, podcasting, like, watercolor stuff, even, like, the sports stuff I do, so much of it is not required of me. There's
Mhm.
things that I want to do, even, like, working those sports games, it's typically, like, you're volunteering to work this game, like, you get assigned them occasionally, but sometimes you are just like, "Oh," like, they just need someone and you're just, like, going to do it. So I take a step back and I just am like, what absolutely needs to be accomplished and what am I doing because I want to or I think that I have to?
Yeah.
Because even with my podcast over break, there was a lot of crazy life stuff happening while I'm home right now, with my parents right now, so I'm going back in like a week. But there was a lot happening, and I was like, I'm gonna take a step back from social media for just like the next 2 weeks
Yeah.
because that's not a priority. That's not something people are like counting on. But when it comes to clients, I had a engagement session. I obviously had to edit that, and I was
Right.
communicating with them, and we were just like talking. That stuff is a priority. So what I do is just like kind of tell myself that I have all this time. there's so many things I'm doing that I'm, putting a lot of pressure on myself when there really isn't any pressure to be doing these things. And I just prioritize what I like to do. So
Yeah.
I found myself watching a lot of Survivor. I've been with my friends a lot since I've been home, which has been like so great. I love hanging out with my friends from high school. It just feels so like warming and like calming. It's just so fun. So just like doing those things I love when I
Yeah.
get a little bit overwhelmed because, all this is supposed to be fun. Obviously, even if it is your career, it is supposed to be enjoyable and fun. So finding those things that you love to do, even
Yeah.
doing a fun creative shoot, really kind of gets me out of like a funk as well, because I
Yeah.
find that to just be really like enjoyable and what is it, like fulfilling.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that. I think like the biggest takeaway that I heard you say in there is just like assessing yourself,
yeah,
basically. Like,
totally.
what
Yes,
is it that I'm doing that I don't need to actually do?
yes,
Like, where am I
yeah,
people pleasing? But
yeah.
yeah, I love that. Okay, how do you during busy seasons like stay motivated and inspired to keep pushing?
I think one thing is that I, first of all, just absolutely love all my clients. I'm very motivated by just like what I do and being able to like, do these sports games and I get to like, show these athletes their pictures and they're posting the pictures and like I'm working with the seniors and they're like just so adorable and like love all their photos. I think I just get like very easily motivated by like the things that I love. So during busy season, I think it's just like being aware of who I'm working with and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And just recognizing that like I am responsible for a lot. And I think I'm just like I feel like I'm answering this question bizarre.
I
Um
think it's good.
I'm like, well, I got like lost of train of thought of what I was saying, but I think during busy season, just to like, you know, I don't like I said mentioned earlier, I have like a lot of these like pockets of spare time. And I just
Yeah.
been like, if I'm busy, just dedicating that time to working on my business and just like growing because like
Yeah.
every minute counts kind of thing when I'm like at this age of like very much discovering what I want to do
True.
once I graduate. So hopefully I answered that right. I think
No,
that's
I
all I
think that's awesome.
okay, perfect.
Do you feel like you have any advice for like what would you say for for a high schooler or a college
Mhm.
student who's like considering starting their own business or just
Yeah.
like exploring something creative like that?
Yeah. I think with a lot of high schoolers, what I just say is like just like do it. Just like start doing stuff. There are so many resources for like young people like ourselves and like myself when I also was in high school that first of all I didn't take advantage of. I didn't actually talked about this in a recent episode as well. I didn't take advantage of like a lot of the resources I had and
Mhm.
being at that age of just like even now I'm just like I can just like do stuff and like if I fail it sucks,
Then
but,
I
like,
fail.
also
Yeah, it's
yeah, fail,
fine.
but if you just, like, get at it and start doing stuff, like, the likelihood of you succeeding is just, like, far beyond the likelihood of you failing, I'd argue, especially, like, with things like YouTube. I just, like
Mhm.
it took me way too long to learn my camera, and I just am looking back, I'm like, when I was in high school and had all this, like,
Yeah.
time, I wish I just, like, knew that that was, like, a possibility, and it would have skyrocketed my career faster than I could ever have
Yeah.
imagined, because I
I
got to
think the
college.
same thing about that, Annie. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like most people don't talk about that. So
Yes,
let's
yeah.
talk about it because I think the exact same thing. Like, for some reason, I just thought I had to do it myself or like
Yeah.
ask people that I personally knew, like,
Mhm.
why did I not look on YouTube more?
Yeah, no, it's I get, like, mad at myself. I'm just like,
Me
there was
too.
so
I'm
many
like, that was kind
resources.
of dumb of me.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, I love this, like, podcasting stuff because 'cause I've, like, I've been doing I'm sure I feel like you do videos like this as well, just, like, giving advice and just, like, talking about the stuff that, like, you
Yeah.
didn't hear when you were a student, so it's like or when you were younger, and just, like, knowing that, like, there's so many resources out there to help you grow and, like, everyone's rooting for you, like
Yeah.
and I just, like, think it sucks that, everyone's including myself, I was just scared to, like, get at it because I didn't think I could ever, like, accomplish what I'm doing now. Even, like, when I was shooting sports games, I remember in high school, and, like, I think it was, like, my freshman or sophomore year, I didn't know my camera settings, and this, like, person would, like, ask me, "Oh, like, what's your ISO at?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna cry."
Like, what?
Literally. And now I look back and I'm just like, that was I could've like, that wasn't I could've
We
figured
could
it
have
out.
Googled this.
We could've
Like,
Googled it. I could've literally it would've taken me a day,
that
but
is so funny.
I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just getting excited for like the next generation of photographers
Yeah,
because there's just even more content now than ever from people,
totally.
like us just wanting to be like, here's everything I know, like you do it, like it'll be
Yeah,
fun. Like, I don't know. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's like my advice is just like get at it, figure out what your niche is, like, or if
so
you want to
good.
niche down, like I think doing the seniors in sports for me, I also have done like couples and like families, and I was just like, like not really my thing. But finding out what I'm passionate about in photography and
Yeah.
just like starting it was like the biggest part I had to like jump over, the biggest hurdle, I'd say.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself? You might not be able to fully answer this, but where do you see
Yeah.
yourself in 5 years, Annie?
Okay. So in 5 years, I don't know if I'm gonna be living in the Midwest still. I'm living in Indiana and Ohio. I'm kind of back and forth. So
Okay.
I'd say realistically, I just would love to live like, Indiana, Michigan, wherever, somewhere in this area, hopefully doing senior portraiture and doing weddings. That's kind of what I love right now. And ideally, I, continue my podcast. I hope to like make some educational content and like sell online products in the future.
Cool.
Like stuff like presets, kind of the whole thing that, the people are doing.
Yeah. The
And just
people.
like, yeah, the people.
I love
And
your
just,
editing, by the way, so I
oh my
totally think you
gosh,
should sell
thank you.
presets.
Thank you. People have asked me, and I need to research how to do that. That's my plan for the summer. Hopefully, I was like,
YouTube.
yeah, I was gonna YouTube that, so that's what I'll probably be doing. But I lost my train of thought again. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I
No, you're
interrupted.
totally fine. No. So I think in 5 years, I want to be doing that kind of stuff, and I just want to continue growing like a brand for myself, and being this person who's just like, we're keeping it so real. Like this stuff is confusing. This stuff is hard, and like I didn't really have a lot of people that I knew that were like willing to like give me information. It kind of felt at times that I was
Mhm.
like being a burden, or like I
Yeah.
shouldn't be asking these questions because they're obvious. But like so many things just weren't obvious to me, and I really could have used like that kind of person to just like
Yeah.
support me and growing my business. So I hope to just like encourage like young photographers to like really go for it, because like the dream life that you want with your business, like you're responsible for creating it. And I look at people, you're like honestly such an idol to me when it comes to the stuff you do. So I look at you and I'm just like, like, but you're going at it, you're doing all this work, and it's like it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
So you have to really just like, invest in yourself, because like that's who you're gonna be hanging out with and working with for the rest of your life. So that's kind of
Yeah.
like that's the dream. And I love to do photography, so I'm hoping to just like do a mix of both like social media stuff and photography, because I also am passionate about like social media, and I hope
Yeah.
to like figure out how to do it, because I'm trying my best with the reels. I'm trying to be
You are crushing it. You
oh my
really
gosh.
are. And I
Thank
like
you.
genuinely, like I've said this so many times throughout this podcast, but I'm so excited for you to have like that full-time energy into it,
Yes.
because
Yes.
I really, really think you're going to see like incredible growth as you
Oh my
continue to do
gosh.
it. So I am
Thank
so
you.
excited. Okay. Are you ready to play our this or that game?
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
I'm just going to like rapid fire them and I want you to answer. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes, I'm
Okay.
ready.
Here we go. Deep breath. Okay. Golden hour or blue hour?
Golden hour.
Natural light or studio light?
Natural light.
Ooh, shooting sports or shooting portraits?
Oh
So
my
hard.
gosh. Yeah, I'd say shooting portraits.
Okay. Destination or close to home?
Close to home.
Ooh, interesting. I wasn't expecting that one. Canon or Sony?
Canon.
You said mhm. Lightroom or Photoshop?
Lightroom.
Okay. Dream client, celebrity athlete or adventurous senior?
Ooh. I'd say a celebrity athlete.
Ooh, okay. Who would
Yeah.
be the celebrity athlete?
I honestly don't know. Maybe a gymnast of some kind of sort. I've
That
always
would be
found that to
cool.
be a very like artful sport, very powerful, and I
Yeah.
think it would make much like a big impact
That would be
potentially.
cool, like at the Olympics or
Yeah,
something. That would be sick.
yes.
Okay. Black and white or vibrant colors?
Vibrant
I
colors.
knew you were going to say that. Sunrise shoot or sunset shoot?
I think sunset.
Film or digital?
Digital.
Okay, last one. Studio session or outdoor?
Outdoor.
I feel like most of those I could have answered for you. I feel proud of
Yes.
myself.
Oh my gosh, awesome.
Okay. Okay. Tell everyone where they can find you, Annie. Follow your photography, listen to your podcast if they want, watch your not TikToks, but your reels.
Yes. My Instagram is at aksalterphotos, and I have like a photography for my an Instagram for my podcast now, and it's Get Your Shot like TOG. And then I think that's like literally it. So yeah, my TikTok does exist, and it is aksalterphotos, and there might be stuff on there in the future potentially.
I
So
love it. Okay,
yeah.
guys. Well, one last thing before we officially sign off. You know, I have to remind you about PhotoCamp. PhotoCamp is March 13th through 15th. You should totally sign up. Honestly, I'm going to try to plug it to Annie after, so maybe you'll see her there. I'm
Yes.
totally kidding. But seriously, guys, March 13th through 15th, it's going to be so fun. We're doing 10 styled shoots. We have 5 educational speakers, and we're all in a luxury camp house by the beach. Okay, I will see you guys there and definitely see you next Thursday. See you later.
Bye.
Come on, let's